Welcome to Squatology. In this short video clip, we're going to share with you a strategy that is extremely powerful. Reason being is, as humans, we all squat. Squatting is considered in movement science to be fundamental. By definition, fundamental means of central importance. And interestingly, we were never taught as humans to squat. We automatically squat. As little infants, we tend to squat from the bottom up. In other words, we start on the ground and we learn to rise up. As adults, we oftentimes go through rehabilitation programs or fitness programs that teach us how to squat from the top down. And that is fine. The point being is squatting is a vertical collapse or a vertical displacement, whether you start from the bottom and come up or the top and go down. And we do it every day. Just think the next time you go to the bathroom or sit for dinner or go in and out of your car. Squatting is an essential part of life. What you see on the board here is a strategy to teach you many different ways to squat, because if you only do it one way, it may not be right for you. It could create irritation. Eventually, it's going to be a wear pattern that will create disruption. So, we know all humans are different. We respect bio-individuality. This is a cheat sheet, if you will, to find what's right for you. Let me explore this with you quickly. SFT stands for sagittal, frontal, and transverse. Simply speaking, sagittal plane is a directional term that allows us to understand an anterior-posterior direction. Frontal means side to side, and transverse means turning, and that's both right and left. XXX, if you wouldn't mind just standing up right now in your comfortable position. XXX is your individual neutral zone. It's not compared to the next person, it's who you are and your bio-individuality. So that's what XXX stands for. Now, in the anterior-posterior direction, or what we call more scientifically sagittal, we have two other options. We can have our right foot ahead of our left, or we can have our left foot ahead of our right. In the frontal plane, side to side, we can either be wide stance, so if you take your feet right now and go really, really wide, or we can be end narrow stance. In the transverse plane, we can be I, internally rotated, so both your toes go in, or E, both your toes go out, and we would call that external rotation. So you can imagine all the different possibilities here. Technically, there's 63 possibilities. What we'd like you to do is play with different foot positions. So let's do this as an example. If I said to you RXI, you would take your right foot, put it ahead of your left. The X stands for not wide or not narrow, so this whatever's comfortable to you, and I stands for toe in. If you now perform the vertical collapse, the way the tissues are stimulated is totally different than if you were XXX. So if you wouldn't mind putting yourself in XXX, your natural neutral stance, and going ahead and performing a squat up and down. Now go RXX, your right's ahead of your left, squat up and down. Now go LXX, squat up and down. Now we'll go XWX. So X here, wide, and no toe in and no toe out because we said X, so it's XWX. Squat down, squat down. Now we'll do XNX, so I come in real narrow, up and down. Now we do XXI, which means just a toe in. And now I go XXE. Toe out, up and down. Now I can go through and say, how about LWI? So the left is ahead of right, wide stance, toed in. Now I do two squats. If I said to you, now let's do an RNE, your right's ahead of left, you're narrow, and then you're toed out. Up and down. The point we're making here in Squatology, and we call it Squatology because here we are looking at a fundamental movement squat, and the ology is the study of, is we're trying to create many variations so that we can address the bio-individuality. I've been working in the clinic now 22 years. I've had people come to me 85 years of age, the oldest 92. And I can say to you in the clinic, I can get a 92-year-old to do a squat relative to their threshold 20, 30, and 40 repetitions because it's not the same exact motion. It's slightly different utilizing these different foot patterns. Now, why is that important at that age? Because motion acts as a biopump. It pumps fluids through the system. It's extremely important for health. But if movement is done repetitively without a change of angulation, the tissues can become fatigued and traumatized. That's one population. Now I'll take it to a whole different population. That athlete that comes in that wants to grow tissue, get stronger, if you do the same thing over and over again, yes, you'll get a positive adaptation, but over time it will wear down your joints. And I always say this to people, show me a very healthy athlete at about age 35. You oftentimes will see them move more like stiff man or stiff woman, and that is the repercussions of doing tissue type stress exercises over and over again. The body has to adapt. Just like if you were to shake a farmer's hand, you would not expect soft hands, you expect thickened, calloused hands. That is a stress response. The same thing happens in exercise. So if we're looking to exercise, move our bodies for the rest of our lives, it is critical to understand the science behind many variables. Find what's right for you. You now have this chart. You could write it down on a piece of paper. You know that squatting is collapsing along the vertical plane. Try different foot positions to alter the stress volume. Find what's right for you. If you need any more individual attention, please contact us.